students, welcome to week 3 of REL 202, Religion and Popular Culture. In weeks 1 and 2, we were reading from Feltmate's Drawn to the Gods, and I've been really happy with the work that and thinking that we've done together. I tried to put some of the insights that I took from your writings into a working document that's in no way exhaustive. We'll keep thinking about these categories, genres, provocative questions. One of you happened to talk about medium versus the actual media. So there's this artifact of popular culture, this thing, say a meme, and then how it gets transmitted, which is through Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. Any number of ways these things travel, and they leap from one to the next, right? But you went to say, well, we're talking about two different things, aren't we? One is the artifact, this piece of popular culture, and the other is the mode of transmission, which is true. Those are two different things, and yet theorist Marshall McLuhan would say, oh, but the medium is the message, and we can think about what that means, and also what part we as human beings play in transmitting, because our likes, our forwards, our reposts or retweets all play an active role, we get irritated about something, and we might at the company or at the religious figure who said it, or at the organization. We might use that as a mode to protest, to say, hey, this terrible thing's happening, and your company or your organization or you as an individual are playing some kind of positive or negative role, and you somehow get implicated in this process that can go beyond what anyone expected. Things really can go viral, as we say, borrowing from medical terminology. So anyway, I hope that you read through the notes that I posted and that you enjoy them and find them helpful. And we'll keep adding to those lists. Not everything that was mentioned, implicates religion or is religiously influenced, but some of the things certainly are, and otherwise they're just different kinds of television programs or movies or films that you might want to check out. And one of the things that I left off and meant to include, I had it in my notes to include, were musical gatherings and other kinds of gatherings that might be considered religious in some way. So I had it down to put Burning Man, or Coachella, Country Thunder, to look back at Woodstock. What kind of happening was Woodstock? Was there something religious about that? Or the idea, of the Deadhead, someone who spent years following the Grateful Dead from concert to concert. Is there something religious in that? Can we call that religion? Or String Cheese Incident. I know someone who did that, followed String Cheese Incident around for a while, and that was kind of a pilgrimage. So it might not be religion, but is it religious? And what do we mean when we call things, he does this religiously? Well, what is that about? Okay, all things to think about. Now we have finished with Feltmate's book, although I hope you enjoy it and return to it, and that it continues to provide insights as you work on your projects this semester and beyond. Because I think it's a fun book, and it gives us conceptual language then to further explore and to go into territories that are less familiar possibly for us. So our next book is going to be this book, Muslim Rap, Halal Soaps, and Revolutionary Theater. I want you to think about, as you read the introduction, who's the editor? Who are the contributors to the volume? It's an edited volume. That means a number of different writers submitted pieces, and then there was an editor that kind of wove this together, proposed the project, and thought about how these pieces were all related, and while creating some kind of narrative arc and framework. So we will be diving in this week, use my guiding questions. And this week, so in weeks 1 and 2, you did Blackboard posts. Weeks 3 and 5 are not, you don't have discussion boards in weeks 3 and 5. In weeks 3 and 5, instead, you're going to do kind of an independent project. So I've posted information about that. You will be looking at materials drawn from your surrounds and your interests, and you're going to be doing some analysis. You're going to be taking some of the tools and insights that you've gathered in these first couple weeks and trying your hand. And I don't expect you to be experts because you're just starting this, but I can tell that you're a great class and that you're paying attention, and this is opening spaces for you to see religion in places that you didn't expect to see it. So I want you to try your hand at that independently through looking at images that could be from advertising or from the cover art of something, a poster, could be an album cover, or could be drawing on a episode of something. Although I don't want you to use Simpsons or Family Guy or South Park for this, because those three we've been looking at a lot. I'd like you to try doing something a little bit outside of that. It can still be a comic or a comedy show. And you're just going to write a short paper. I don't want you to get stressed about it. I want you to enjoy it, have fun with it. You can include images. You do need to give me some way to understand what it is you're looking at. So if you could provide a short link, a link to the short piece, or you can put a photograph in, but some way for me to understand what it is that you're talking to and about. And then you're going to be trying to figure out, okay, well, how is this a piece that is trying to give a religious message? Is it critiquing religion? Is it, how is religion involved in this, and what is it trying to tell us? What messaging might be received from it? And then, we'll talk more about those next week. But I think it's a good way for you to practice for your week 5 project that'll be a little bit bigger, and then for your final project. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the reading this week. I'll post some, also there's a PowerPoint which you should take a look at that's going to help you dive into this. So be sure, it's fast, but it'll give you some framework for approaching these readings. And even though you're not responding this week to these readings, don't get behind, because the following week you will be, and you want to make sure that you're taking this piece by piece. Okay, I think that's all for now, and speak to you soon. Bye-bye.